Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Tyson, and today we're diving into the world of ClickFunnels 2.0, specifically to show you how to create and use universal sections inside of the platform. Universal sections are a great way to expedite a lot of things you end up creating inside of the platform. If you're using the same thing multiple times, this is going to make it so you can do that, but also make changes to them across the board, right? With that said, let's go ahead and jump into the platform here, and I'll show you how to set everything up step by step. Okay, welcome on inside, guys. We are currently inside of a funnel page within the actual page editor, just to show you how to get started and how this all can work throughout your account here. So in this case, universal sections can be created for sections themselves or rows. Totally up to you regarding how you set this up. And all a universal section is really doing is creating one copy that can be used in multiple locations, allowing you to make changes to just one of them, and the changes will apply to all of them, wherever you're actually using it inside of your account. All right. Which makes it super versatile when it comes to maybe like headers or footers, right? Throughout your brand or throughout your pages, for brand cohesiveness and just making sure that everything kind of looks the same. And obviously it definitely brings down the edit time. You don't have to go page by page. If you ever use ClickFunnels Classic, you used to have to go to every single page and edit those manually one by one. Whereas in this case, you can just save it as a universal section, use that section in multiple different locations, say like your homepage, your about page, throughout different funnels. And it will show the exact same version across the board for all those pages that it's added to. Okay. Now, when you go in, again, whenever you make a change, say if you go and change the URL or some wording, it will apply that change everywhere that section is currently living. Okay. Now, when it comes to actually saving and creating universal sections, all you have to do is hover to either the row or the section. Now, you have the option here. It's technically a universal block, but we'll start with sections. In this case, if you want to create this section or use the section elsewhere as a universal section, just click on the little save icon here, the little floppy disk. Once you click on that, you'll see the option over here on the right-hand side to set up a name for the actual section itself. So in this case, we'll call it video section example, right? You can give it a folder or assign it to a folder that already exists. Totally up to you. From there, this is the most important part. You want to make sure that you are checking this box off. This is actually going to determine that this is a universal section. Okay. Now from here, you can give it a description if you want. You don't have to, but if you are adding a bunch of these over the course of your lifetime of your workspace, it can add up quickly. Descriptions are definitely going to be your saving grace when it comes to understanding which is which without having to click through each of them. And anyways, you can put description here as far as like when it was created. I usually like to do that. That way you understand if you create a new one, which one is the first one, which is the newest one. And it just helps with organization. Really, that's all it is. So does the folder option right here. But anyways, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and save the section. Now, once we do this, it's going to change the coloration of the section itself as we hover over it. So before it used to be green, now it's going to be purple. Right, there we go. And we can't just click on it directly to start editing stuff. We have to go into the actual block itself by either clicking on this button right here, or if you go to the gear icon and click on edit universal block, it'll take you to the exact same location, but it's essentially the editor for that new universal block. Okay. Now, again, whatever change you make here, it will apply to anywhere that is currently housing or using this guy right here, this universal section on that page. Okay. There we go. Now we have a universal section that we can use anywhere you want. You can use as much as you want. There's not a limit. Now, when you want to actually use this again on other pages, all you have to do in this case is go to Add Section, and over here on the right-hand side, we'll see the option for My Assets. Click on that directly, and right over here, you'll see the option for Universal Blocks or Saved Blocks. In this case, we'll want to select Universal Blocks. It's going to jump right to the place where we actually are able to see all the universal sections we have created. You scroll down, I have a few of them, but in this case, just find the one that you are looking for, and you can search, or you can skim through. You can either search by name if you remember the name, or you can scroll through and select the one that visually looks like it's the correct one. There you go. See a little preview here. If you want, you can also edit these, but for now, if you want to add this to a page, just click on it directly. So you can tell we are going through the add block or the add section option there. Now, there's another way you can actually add this to a page. If you go up here to My Assets in the very top, in between Layout and Pop-Up, just click on that directly. You'll see an option for sections and rows, and you can also scroll through and see all the saved things that you've ever created between those two options, right? Again, you see the option over here for saved blocks or universal blocks. In this case, we're going for universal blocks. There we go. Now, the difference between saved blocks and universal blocks is just that, again, universal blocks is going to be used or can be used anywhere, but when you make a change to one, it's going to apply to all of them wherever you're using it. Saved block is more or less, you're just using that specific section as a template to start from. I mean, you can technically do that with this guy as well, but if you make a change to a saved section in a different page where it wasn't necessarily originally created, it won't make that edit across the board. It's only going to stay for that one specific location. Okay, so hopefully that helps clarify that a little bit. Now, again, I already mentioned this before, but let's touch back on it again. We can also do this for rows as well. Now, if we want to add, we'll add some test stuff here, just as an example. We'll add maybe a 2-column row. Yeah, we'll go 2-column row, and then from there, we'll just go in and do a headline on the left side, and on the right side, we'll go over here and add an image. There we go. We'll drag and drop this headline there. Awesome. Okay, now let me add a test image here just so we can see it in action. Sure, that one will work perfectly. Okay, now again, if we want to save this as a universal block, all we have to do is click on the floppy disk right here to save. And as we're doing this, we can choose the option to make a row universal. And it works the exact same ways it works for the section, where if you make a change in one place, it's going to apply everywhere that has that specific row. So I guess a better way of thinking of this is universal blocks rather than specifically universal sections, because sections can be universal and rows can be universal side by side, right? But anyways, it's the same process. So again, we'll just do universal row example. There we go. And just make sure this is selected. And then again, you can give it a description if you want to, but we'll just go ahead and save. And when you're trying to access this now, all you have to do is add row on a page. And right here under My Assets, the same way as you would for the sections as well when you're trying to add a new one, click on My Assets and go to Universal Blocks. And it's going to scroll down until we get to that portion, and you can find the one that you just created. Now I have this guy right here. There we go, or this one right here. Sometimes when you first create it, it's not going to display that preview image, but if you click out and come back, it'll actually display that. Yeah, as you can see, all the preview images are starting to populate now. But if we want to add that, just click add, and now it is brought to where you want to be. There we are. Now, if you ever want to, say, start off from a universal section as maybe just a layout, instead of using it as the, let me get that out of the way, instead of using it as the actual universal block. So like we just want to start with this layout right here. Maybe you're working with a different brand or something like that, and you don't want to use the exact same one you created from that universal block. One way you can go about doing this is just unlinking the universal block. There we go. Now, once you do this, if you make any edits, it's not going to represent that change across the board like it normally would inside of the universal block. Super useful, again, if you're just trying to use the layout you've already created for that section or row, whatever it is that you're working with, and utilize it somewhere else. Okay, that's pretty much all there is when it comes to actually creating universal sections. Now, once they're created, you can use them anywhere. One thing to mention though, is that once they are created, you cannot actually remove them. They are going to live inside of your workspace for as long as your workspace lives, until ClickFunnels decides to add an option to actually remove them or delete them from your workspace. So in this case, what I found in the meantime is that just changing the name, if you happen to not want to use a specific universal section anymore, or you create a new version, either way, is just to go in and rename that specific section, just so you know which one is which, and just helps you keep organized as you move along here. Now, if we go ahead and just add section, I'll go show you how to actually edit these guys. You can do it in My Assets as well. Either way, the My Assets tab at the very top of the page, or if you go directly through adding the section to My Assets, either way, totally up to you. It's basically going to bring you to the same location. So if you go the My Assets route, click on this directly, and then just again go sections or rows right here at the top, and choose what you're actually looking for, whether it's a save block or universal. Okay, now in this case, we're going to go through the option of adding a section, just because I feel like it's faster this way, and go to universal block. if you ever want to name or rename any of these that you are creating, any of these sections, you just go over here and you can click on the 3 dots for anything, whether it's a row. You can see that they're all shown within the same section as far as our same area, whether it's a row or a section. Just make sure you know which one you're actually clicking on here. But if you're trying to edit it, just click on the 3 dots here and you'll see the name and the folder option here up here where you can go and update it. Again, you can't remove it, but you can update it. So maybe if you, let's say old, right? If you go and make a new version and you no longer want to use this one, and you maybe name them the same, definitely go in and rename it so you know which one's the old one, which one's the new one. I don't know, just something to bring out there or put out there just so you are aware. Okay, now with that said, let's go over how to use this anywhere else, just so you can see that you can actually use this universal block. Now that we've created it, I'll just save this real quick. Now that you've created it, you can use it anywhere else outside of the funnel. So in this case, I created it inside of a funnel. We're gonna go out and add it to a new page. We'll go out of the editor completely and head to pages. Okay, we'll go and just add a new page. And from here, we'll just we'll start from blank. How about that? We'll start from blank. We'll call this using universal section, universal block. There we go. Example. Okay, and we'll go ahead and create the page. Now, once that loads, we'll go ahead and just click on add new section, and we're just gonna go straight for that new universal block that we created, the section itself. Okay, here we go. Just click on the plus icon here to add a new section, go to my assets and go to universal blocks. And there we are. There's the universal block. Now, if we make an edit here, I'll just show you this in action as well. We'll go ahead and just add an image there, just to be crazy. Just one image. I didn't even click it twice. Okay, and we'll just actually assign an image in there. Sure, we'll go with this guy. Awesome. Okay, now this isn't actually a design I ended up using, but just to show you that it's there and it's working. There we go. Now if we exit out of the editor here, there we go. By default, it took us outside of the universal block editor. And we go back to the initial page that we created. Oh, let me say it one more time. There we go. We'll go to the initial funnel again and show you that it was also applied there as well. All right, and the first one is actually the one we were working in initially. So we'll just click on edit. And as soon as we load, we should see that both of these universal blocks, actually one of them, because we unlinked one of them. Yeah, you can see that the one that's unlinked does not actually experience that same change, whereas the universal block that we're using right here does. All right, and that's it. That's all there is to it, guys. This is live in action. Hopefully this helps as far as getting you on the right path, understanding how this works. Definitely utilize it to enhance your builds here, make it a lot faster, a lot easier to maintain everything across the board. All right, that is it, guys. If you have any questions or concerns about anything that we went over or covered today, please feel free to leave that in the comments below. If you have any video requests for the future, please leave that in the comments below as well. Otherwise, if you'd like to work with me personally and make sure that your universal sections are set up correctly, or maybe even build out a funnel or two, feel free to reach out using the contact form that can be found inside of the video description. All right, but with that said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.